welcome to Boom Markets Talk Show. I do apologize for the network issue. We just have a bit of a problem of the network. It's some bad weather where I am now currently that we're experiencing, but anything, the network is back on. So we will just continue with today's show of nationalization, which is also of national importance for South Africa. That South Africans need to speak out harder against the story of the nationalization of the Reserve Bank, because this is actually our last line of defense. Now, what I know and what statistics shows, in July, the Reserve Bank of South Africa reported that there is approximately about 58 billion US dollars in reserves that we are keeping. And that is the amount of dollars that South Africa has in the Reserve Bank. Now, there was an uptick in July in the reserves of 58 US dollars, and surely that is the loan of the IMF that actually got to South Africa, and that actually increased the reserves of dollar holdings in South Africa. Now, I personally think that the politicians don't understand about these reserves and how it's important for South Africa is actually to balance the currency of South Africa. For example, obviously, if you in South Africa's terms, we buy a lot of goods we import to South Africa. So it's important that we have dollar reserves actually to balance the currency and also the buying power of South Africa when we need to buy stuff outside of South Africa. For example, oil is one of them. The goods that we buy, even what I buy, for example, your apps, your radio station, and those type of things, so that the rand doesn't lose so much value where it is for me to pay for the radio station cost a ridiculous amount of money. Just imagine if the radio cost me about 10,000 rand a month just because of a weak currency. I would not be sitting here and doing this for you for absolutely free. So this, the importance of the reserves is to balance the currency. So in simple terms, if that reserves get depleted, it will show that it will actually make sense of the explanation of it, is that South Africa is actually using up its reserves and its dollar reserves specifically, and push it into the economy. So which means there's more money circulating in the economy. And with more money circulating in the economy, it means that there's a possibility that we might get higher inflation. And that means that the currency will lose extremely a lot of value. Now, I think personally the politicians is behind this whole story to get to this 58 billion US dollars pot. They have no clue what is the importance of this 58 billion US dollars. They don't care. They don't care about your pension funds. They don't care about the land that you own. They just want it. To do what with it, I don't know. They always come with this nice story that it's for the people. The people saw absolutely fuck all since 1994. Whatever they promised houses, electricity, free, everything. And look where it is now today. Houses absolutely free. You have your RDP houses. It's just when you give free stuff, people just want more and more and more and more and do absolutely fuck all in return. And just thinking that the taxpayer must just cough up everything. It's just absolutely ridiculous what is actually currently going on. And then you have the story of the land bank. That is a very good example of nationalization of state institutions or the current scenario where it's actually under government control. Look at the land bank. Look at the NEL. Look at Eskom. Everything is not functioning that the state is touching. Look at the post office. The post office is now dishing out 350s, where its job is supposed to be to deliver services to us. They are absolutely useless. Look at Eskom. Can't even put the lights on. Look, the land bank can't even pay its creditors back. They can't. A state-owned bank, the land bank, that was functioning very well from the 1912s, where the land story came into effect in South Africa, until today, the bank The bank, now after the democratic compensation in South Africa, the dispensation in South Africa, it is absolutely useless now today. The bank is broke. A bank, a whole entire bank that is absolutely broke, that can't pay back its creditors. And then we want to actually nationalize the Reserve Bank. Who the hell can even think about this shit in the first place? Who? Knowingly what is the situation with the South African government, or what is the situation with the ANC? Municipalities are not functioning. People don't even buy water anymore. People buy bottled water. It's just getting crazy and crazy and crazy. And these guys are just doing whatever they wish. We need actually to fight back against this. The Reserve Bank and the Finance Minister of South Africa is under serious attack. The Finance Minister reporting, or I would say pushing out his tweets on social media about the nationalization of the Reserve Bank, and he's definitely no apologetic about it, and which I agree with it. It must be protected at all costs. And what he said so clearly is that African politicians or governments can just wake up at any given time and fire the Reserve Bank manager. It looks like they are playing with the Minister of Education. The Reserve Bank is absolutely important. It keeps the economy ticking. It protects the bank. It protects you and I savings. It makes sure that the functionality of the banks is working for borrowing money, for saving money. Just imagine that you wake up and go to the bank and you can't get your money out. Why is this even a topic? The Reserve Bank must be protected at all times. How did this be this point? And what is funny, all sorts of nonsense has been trending on Twitter, but not the importance of the defense of the Reserve Bank. It is the end of South Africa if that bill passes. Well, I'm sure the central bank governor will definitely come out and be guns blazing to fight this bill in court. But he can't fight this alone. Tito Mboweni can't fight this alone. Or the two of them can't fight this alone. You need the public to speak out about this. We need to become aggressive on this. Whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on all sorts of forms of social media. Yes, I know we might be in a very small minority of defending the Reserve Bank. But people that normally keep quiet regarding these topics must start to speak out. I understand also if you don't speak out, because honestly, you will get attacked. You will get inboxes. You will get death threats. That is definite. That is what I'm facing when I talk about the nonsense that is going on in this country. Because most people are just thinking by their skins. That's it. They can't use their brains. They're just thinking on their skins. And it is absolutely, I don't understand why people can't just using their brain knowingly that the ANC government is just there to steal. That's it. The last line of defense, they want to actually to root out. The banks have, or the Reserve Bank have already one hell of a story to keep the banks alive. One, we got downgraded. Two, if you look at the balance sheet of ABSA, when ABSA was reporting their balance sheets or their financial report, they published their financial reports. You could see the impairment rates there. It increased drastically. So the banks already fighting for their lives now by this aggressive lockdown regulation, where the Reserve Bank is also now thinking out of the box to try and hold the banks together. And also, we're sitting with this huge headache where the NPLs, or the word for it is the non-performing loans, reach its threshold of 10%. Then the whole bloody system will freeze. You will not get your deposits. People will not get their money back. Loans obviously needs to get written off. Banks are totally collapsing. I'm sure ATMs will start to malfunction by just giving you about 50 Rand a day because they can't give you a normal withdrawal. That is what the current Reserve Bank is facing now. And now on top of that, the ANC come, or the EFF and the ANC come with this nonsense of nationalisation. Now I know the country is under enormous stress. We don't have money in the kitty. There's nothing. We're running a massive deficit already. And that's why they are talking about the nationalisation of the Reserve Bank. The EFF know precisely, that there's no money by the South African government. The taxpayer can't afford to pay taxes anymore. So they know there's no money. That's why they came up by dusting off the bill and pushing it forward. Because they know we are running a heavy deficit. Knowingly that we need to take now the money of the Reserve Bank to push this deficit through. And it's not just black people that think like this. There's white people that think. A lot of people are thinking like this, that the Reserve Bank must be nationalized to pay off the debt. How the hell can you even... The reason why we are in this debt is because of incompetent bastards in the ANC. Nothing else. The useless demagogues, they just loot and steal every single time. That is the reason why we're sitting with this massive deficit. It has nothing to do with the Reserve Bank. Absolutely nothing. When the South African economy was performing very well under Thabo Mbeki, you did not hear the calls of nationalization of the Reserve Bank. Yes, the cause of land was always there, but not so aggressive now as it is now. It always comes in. It is like a chain reaction. The moment in Zimbabwe it was the same. The moment the deficit is starting to increase and the government is running out of resources or money, then they will go to the extreme measures of taking up land, taking up pensions of people's savings, and then on top of that, actually now go and take the money from the Reserve Bank. It is really, it has nothing to do with the Reserve Bank, nothing. This is because they are beating this economy flat out by looting. And that's why they are in this mess. And that's why we all are in this mess. And now they want to take the Reserve Bank. Of all institutions, they ruined the NEL. They ruined everything under the state. And now they want to ruin the Reserve Bank. South Africans, you need to speak up. You need to fight back on this. There's no other alternative. Unless you are dusting off your password and needs to fly out. Because I think you need to be serious now about this conversation in the family unit to say, listen, is all we going to stay here or you're going to leave? Leaving is surely the best option. Because believe me, they will take the Reserve Bank. Now that this whole story of nationalization is actually on the table. You can't be so blinded. You can't be so blinded by just thinking that the government will do this to the best interest. A lot of people don't even understand the mandate of the Reserve Bank. A lot of people don't even understand, oh no, what the hell is a credit score? And those people that knows absolutely fuck all regarding like that, they are the ones who's fucking talking the most. People don't even know what's a fucking credit score. People don't even tune in when the Reserve Bank manager is talking. People don't know. People if the Reserve Bank is on Facebook Live, you will see about 100 maximum. Maximum you will see 100 people live when the governor is talking. The rest of these cunts are talking on social media about nationalization. They know absolutely fuck all the consequences regarding nationalization. Absolutely fuck all. Because if you know the consequences of this, you will fucking defend this thing with your life. If they put this bill through, it is absolutely the fucking end. It is the end of this country. Just like Zimbabwe, it is unrepairable if this happens. Look at Venezuela. Look at the history of stripping away the independence of the Reserve Bank. You can't be so fucking dumb not to fucking understand it. I will just take a short break and then I'll be back.
But they truly don't understand the principles so eloquently stated by Abraham Lincoln. Quote, "You cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot help the wage earner by pulling down the wage payer. You cannot help the poor by destroying the rich. You cannot help men permanently by doing for them what they could and should do for themselves."
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
Be the kind of trader who sees the big picture. The world is changing around you. Global threats push gold, the safe haven asset, to higher prices each and every day. Now's your chance to start trading gold. Just go to capex.com and register to get up to a $5,000 bonus on your first deposit. Simply use GOLD5000 as a promo code and you're good to go. Capex.com proudly welcomes you to the next level trading experience. Register now and start taking full advantage of the new gold rush. Terms and conditions apply. Exposure to gold obtained via contracts for difference, which are leveraged products and incur a high level of risk. Capex.com is operated by JME Financial Services, Pty Ltd, an authorized financial services provider.
Look, I'm exhausted. Had it all figured out and I lost it. They say that's the cost, but it just feels like a lot. Stop, are you going or not? I miss certainty. Miss the 9 to 5s, knowing exactly where I need to be and why I'm not built for this. Progress moves in slow motion. They're out making money and getting promotions, saying all the right things, pulling all the right levers. While I sit here, write my future self love letters. Who's winning? Is this the end or beginning? 'Cause I'm starting to feel like reality's slipping, and bank accounts, they aren't very forgiving, and life on edge feels like falling, not living. If effort brings victory, what am I missing? Nothing good comes easy. When we have to, we push through, not knowing completely. You're here because you're made for this next level, taking these places that most people won't. Start embracing it. Who cares what they do? They're not you. You'll go through more now than you think you're supposed to, but that shows you can cope with the highs and the lows, because you rose to be more. Could have run away, could have avoided the thorns, could have been comfortable. Blood, sweat, and tears, they're expendable. No more pretending, man, build something memorable. Don't drink from their cup or by stories they tell, because when all their time's up, you'll have dug your own well. You didn't use lifelines, you're topped off for a lifetime. So drop all those one-liners, we'll get them next time. No, this time is your time, and whatever you decide will end up being real life. No stop signs, just storylines. This whole thing is a misunderstanding, a miscalculation. Jumped and missed the landing. I'm mystified, I can waste so much time. These ovations are strictly imagination, not standing. So much for planning, guess fate left without me. Those failure statistics, yeah, they'll be about me. Was overly optimistic, forgot the logistics. Guess we all learn sometime, don't we? Good is not good enough. No, how long do I stay down before I let go? I buried my pride and took it inside, but never enough. It takes a toll, it gets old getting told you've got miles of road left to go. You're alone with this future unknown. Just go home. Just go home, it's safe there. yeah, I'll find some embrace there. Look, it's time to admit defeat, a humble retreat, check the box and complete to my core. Intrinsically, it's not for me, I can't do this. I knew this is how it would be. No fame, no fortune, no names on marquees, just running in place every day on repeat. This is the world I want to see, where everything's taken with no guarantees. No, come on man, pick your head up. Go back inside half a life's learning to get up. How can I make you see that you have everything you need, and what you want to be is never out of reach? Fate deceives sometimes, but destiny's calling, so can't let the phone ring. You know there's no all-knowing. Go level up, no letdowns. Let the world in, push fear out. It's self-belief, it starts right now. When hell freezes, you lay down. But until then, it's your town, it's your story, it's your crown. Live in the clouds, feet on the ground. They stand still, you run around. Go mesmerize, or they socialize. There's dollar signs to be maximized. If you live it right, regret nothing. Loud applause, the sweetest sound. And this moment won't happen again, and never becomes forever unless you choose to begin. So see greatness in each step, and power in progress. Your future, yeah, that's limitless, it's infinite. Don't forget you want this.
What's stopping you? Are you too tired? Didn't get enough sleep?
But they truly don't understand the principles so eloquently stated by Abraham Lincoln. Quote, "You cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot help the wage earner by pulling down the wage payer. You cannot help the poor by destroying the rich. You cannot help men permanently by doing for them what they could and should do for themselves."
The champ is here! 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 The champ.
Welcome back to Bull Market Talk Show. This is the last part of the show where we'll do the nationalization of the Reserve Bank. Now, the story, I know precisely now that the pressure is actually mounting on actually National Treasury and also the government and also the ANC by getting money to supply money to the government, and obviously to the for them obviously to steal, and obviously eventually putting the crumbs to the people. And with a deficit that is currently running now, it's running actually at about 600 billion rands and around there. And also on top of that, we have a debt that is totally out of control. And the first thing is, South Africa now is in the hands of the IMF. And that is all because of they not spending their money wisely. And now we're sitting with a mountain of debt. People just don't want to borrow us money anymore. And that's why they ended up at the IMF and the World Bank. Well, we're also in debt with the BRICS Bank. Look, we are all over in debt. And the country can't sustain this whole debt levels. It's actually, it just can't function that way. And if you look at the amount of tax that we collect and the amount of spending that is currently going on, it is totally unsustainable. And that's why they want to table, or that's why the nationalization of the Reserve Bank is on the table. Once that actually gets taken away from us, it is actually the end of this country. Because then you will have printing that will go on non-stop. That is the story is the story that we're currently facing today was seen in the 1920s by Germany. It was seen by Zimbabwe in the late 1990s. It was seen in Venezuela currently. It is now also seen in Turkey, where governors get fired and then it gets replaced by a politician. And obviously a politician that knows absolutely nothing about economics is in charge of a reserve bank, or even the finance minister. Well, if Tito Mboweni maybe is in charge of the reserve bank, that will obviously be good for the country. But will he behave, or will he actually have his independence? I'm not sure, because they want to change the whole role and the ownership of the reserve bank. Once the state is in charge of the reserve bank, then it is the end. It is the end of this country, because then the currency will be absolutely useless. You will, like literally what happened in Venezuela and Zimbabwe and even in Germany, is that would become more valuable than carrying money. So which means is that you will pay for a loaf of bread surely about R1 million, because that is for a banana in Zimbabwe. It was actually 50 billion Zim dollars. And that's why we have bulk of Zimbabwe people in this country, because the currency and the country is not functioning. This is the South Africa that we want. And you actually kept quiet while these guys are just looting left, right, and center. To be honest, you are also to be blamed for this. So it's or you fighting back now, or you keep your silence forever. It's time for us to wake up as South Africans and literally participate in the fight against the nationalization of the Reserve Bank. The EFF have no clue why the forefathers of this country made sure that the Reserve Bank must be independent and must not be touched by any politician. And obviously the person that sits at the helm of the Reserve Bank is one of the best economists or people with the decency of economy, of understanding the economy, that's on the helm of the Reserve Bank, because it needs all the protection possible. But if we allow this to continue, this will definitely be the end of this country. That is it from my side. I will see you guys tomorrow at 10 with some more news regarding the markets and also with politics around the world. That's it from my side. Bye-bye.
But they truly don't understand the principles so eloquently stated by Abraham Lincoln. Quote, "You cannot strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You cannot help the wage earner by pulling down the wage payer. You cannot help the poor by destroying the rich. You cannot help men permanently by doing for them what they could and should do for themselves."
Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Ted Turner. Success leaves clues, kids. I just named 5 of the greatest names in business in the last 150 years. And they all have one thing in common. They're ball busters. They're hard as nails. Where does that leave you? I still work 50, 60 hours a week. And I haven't had to work in 35 years. You're not willing to do anything. You're not willing to sacrifice anything to be a high-performance person.
I don't want to be like that.
No, most people don't.
I want to be liked.
Yeah, well, see, you want to fit in. I'm the only speaker that you're ever going to hear that really, with all his heart, doesn't give a shit. If I leave here you liking me, I did something wrong.
In 2010, a 1-ounce gold Kruger Rand cost around 8,000 Rand. Today, in 2020, that same 1-ounce gold Kruger Rand costs over 24,500 Rand. That's a 300% increase in price in 10 years. Is it worthwhile for you to invest in gold? It could be. Find out more information. Get educated. Visit us at thinkgold.co.za for more information or to buy your gold.
Do you remember them days where you thought it was absolutely unbearable and you thought you wasn't going to endure that one? Do you know that your survival rate for every last one of them bad days is 100%. Your track record for surviving bad days is 100%. That's a fact. Your track record, you batting 1,000. You'd have survived every funky day you ever had. You survived every hater. You survived all the evictions. You survived the firings. You survived all the tell you no, we ain't hiring. You survived all the trouble you ever been in. Your survival rate is 100%. 100%.
I'm going to get destroyed. But if I can still be standing on my feet, then life isn't so bad.
Somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started looking for something to blame, like a big shadow. You know what you are. What you're made of. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Getting your business funded is a lengthy process with the banks, and it can take weeks before getting an answer. ProfitFX works with the best in the finance industry to bring you an unrivaled business funding solution for South African businesses. Our funding partners have funded millions in the last year in support of growing your business and our economy. Get in touch with your talk show host to request more information. A trade history of 3 years or more and an annual turnover of 1 million rand or more is required. Terms and conditions apply.
Rise and shine. 6 a.m. and your hand can't make it to the alarm clock before the voices in your head start telling you that it's too early, too dark, and too cold to get out of bed. Aching muscles lie still in rebellion, pretending not to hear your brain commanding them to move. A legion of voices are shouting their unanimous permission for you to hit the snooze button and go back to dreamland. But you didn't ask their opinion. The voice you've chosen to listen to is one of defiance. A voice that says there was a reason you set that alarm in the first place. So sit up, put your feet on the floor, and don't look back, because we've got work to do. Welcome to the grind. For what is each day but a series of conflicts between the right way and the easy way? 10,000 streams fan out like a river delta before you, each one promising the path of least resistance. Thing is, you're headed upstream. And when you make that choice, when you decide to turn your back on what's comfortable and safe and what some would call common sense, well, that's day one. From there, it only gets tougher. So just make sure this is something you want, because the easy way out will always be there, ready to wash you away. All you have to do is pick up your feet. But you aren't going to, are you? With each step comes the decision to take another. You're on your way now, but this is no time to dwell on how far you've come. You're in a fight against an opponent you can't see, but oh, you can feel him on your heels, can't you? Feel him breathing down your neck. You know what that is? That's you. Your fears, your doubts, and insecurities all lined up like a firing squad, ready to shoot you out of the sky. But don't lose heart. While they're not easily defeated, they are far from invincible. Remember, this is the grind, the battle royale between you and your mind, your body, and the devil on your shoulder who's telling you that this is just a game. This is just a waste of time. Your opponents are stronger than you. Drown out the voice of uncertainty with the sound of your own heartbeat. Burn away your self-doubt with a fire lit beneath you. Remember what we're fighting for, and never forget that momentum is a cruel mistress. She can turn on a dime with the smallest mistake. She is ever searching for the weak place in your armor, that one tiny thing you forgot to prepare for. So as long as the devil is hiding the details, the question remains, is that all you got? Are you sure? And when the answer is yes, when you've done all you can to prepare yourself for battle, then it's time to go forth and boldly face your enemy, the enemy within. Only now you must take that fight into the open, into hostile territory. You're a lion in a field of lions, all hunting the same elusive prey with a desperate starvation that says victory is the only thing that can keep you alive. So believe that voice that says you can run a little faster, and you can throw a little harder, and that for you, the laws of physics are merely a suggestion. Luck is the last dying wish of those who want to believe that winning can happen by accident. Sweat, on the other hand, is for those who know it's a choice. So decide now, because destiny waits for no man. And when your time comes and 1,000 different voices are trying to tell you you're not ready for it, listen instead to that lone voice of dissent. The one that says you are ready, you are prepared. It's all up to you now. So rise and shine.
Be the kind of trader who sees the big picture. The world is changing around you. Global threats push gold, the safe haven asset, to higher prices each and every day. Now's your chance to start trading gold. Just go to capex.com and register to get up to a $5,000 bonus on your first deposit. Simply use GOLD5000 as a promo code and you're good to go. Capex.com proudly welcomes you to the next level trading experience. Register now and start taking full advantage of the new gold rush. Terms and conditions apply. Exposure to gold obtained via contracts for difference, which are leveraged products and incur a high level of risk. Capex.com is operated by JME Financial Services, Pty Ltd, an authorized financial services provider.
Look, I'm exhausted. Had it all figured out and I lost it. They say that's the cost, but it just feels like a lot. Stop, are you going or not? I miss certainty. Miss the 9 to 5s, knowing exactly where I need to be and why I'm not built for this. Progress moves in slow motion. They're out making money and getting promotions, saying all the right things, pulling all the right levers while I sit here, write my future self love letters. Who's winning? Is this the end or beginning? Cause I'm starting to feel like reality's slipping, and bank accounts, they aren't very forgiving, and life on edge feels like falling, not living. If effort brings victory, what am I missing? Nothing good comes easy. When we have to, we push through, not knowing completely. You're here because you're made for this next level, taking these places that most people won't. Start embracing it. Who cares what they do? They're not you. You'll go through more now than you think you're supposed to, but that shows you can cope with the highs and the lows, because you rose to be more. Could've run away, could've avoided the thorns, could've been comfortable. Blood, sweat, and tears, they're expendable. No more pretending, man, build something memorable. Don't drink from their cup or by stories they tell, cause when all their time's up, you'll have dug your own well. You did it. Use lifelines, you're topped off for a lifetime, so drop all those one-liners. We'll get them next time. No, this time is your time, and whatever you decide will end up being real life. No stop signs, just storylines. This whole thing is a misunderstanding, a miscalculation. Jumped and missed the landing. I'm mystified. I can waste so much time. These ovations are strictly imagination, not standing. So much for planning. Guess fate left without me. Those failure statistics, yeah, they'll be about me. Was overly optimistic, forgot the logistics. Guess we all learn sometime, don't we? Good is not good enough, no. How long do I stay down before I let go? I buried my pride and took it inside, but never enough. It takes a toll, it gets old getting told you've got miles of road left to go. You're alone with this future unknown. Just go home. Just go home, it's safe there. Yeah, I'll find some embrace there. Look, it's time to admit defeat, a humble retreat. Check the box and complete to my core. Intrinsically, it's not for me. I can't do this. I knew this is how it would be. No fame, no fortune, no names on marquees. Just